From the great white north of Ontario, Canada, David Beneteau.
Beneteau is a grappler, and he quickly gets Medina down.
There's the strike.
That's it.
Beneteau going to work quickly, and the towel has been thrown in. David Beneteau is into the finals.
That is Dave Beneteau in the early days of the UFC, savagely beating an opponent before, of course, he got savagely beaten by an opponent and then stepped into law school. A lot has changed for Dave Beneteau since then. Are you still dangerous, Dave Beneteau?
In some circles,
For
yes.
me, I am. You are, right? Good to see you, Dave. You know the guy beside you, a respected mixed martial artist as well, Jeff the Inferno Joslin, Canadian MMA champion. You're the current Apex welterweight champion. I need a nickname, don't I?
You do. We're gonna have to, you can start online survey.
So you don't have any suggestions for me then?
I don't know. Ask me at the end of the show.
Okay. So we got 7 minutes, and then I'll come back to that. UFC number 100 this Saturday. Huge crowd. Huge pay-per-view buys. Do we both agree, do you guys agree, that Dana White is a huge reason for the UFC's success?
I think both him and the team behind him is a huge reason for the success of the UFC. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Dana White. I've expressed it before. I don't like some of the aspects of the UFC where he's taken it, what he promotes. I think it's marketing. It's sort of an idiot-proof strategy he's taken on with the reality show. And I mean, for God's sakes, you can. I mean, some of the things they have on nowadays about having a family of 8 and sleeping with the next door neighbor and swapping wives. I mean, they're all hits too, right?
Yeah, but
I think
let me ask Jeff this question. Do you find you have no idea what Dave's talking about right now? Just totally off topical.
No, because what I'm trying to say is basically if you put a bunch of guys in front of a TV, it makes for interesting entertainment, and they just happen to be a bunch of fighters.
With the resistance that mixed martial arts has faced, for him to break it through and make it become so mainstream, it's an unbelievable thing. And you have to give him a lot of respect for that.
You know what? He put it on TV. Like I said, he's done nothing special. It's the guys that sell it. It's the talent. It's the guys that go out there and put their ass on the line and fight their guts out on these shows that do it. It's not Dana White.
Like Brock Lesnar?
Absolutely.
Like Frank Mir. Lesnar lost a year and a half ago, knee bar there. Before that, he had really hurt Mir. How do you see this fight, Jeff?
Well, I always, kind of look at it like a video of when bears attack. He came in there aggressive, he was getting mauled, and he caught up a submission, got the knee bar. I think he surprised himself with a win. But, Brock...
I think Frank Mir is a dangerous guy. He did well under pressure. He was getting kicked, and still he came up with the fabulous knee bar. But I got to tell you, I think people underrate Brock Lesnar. He sort of comes across as the stereotypical big sort of musclehead guy, smart guy. For sure, he's been training defense on knee bars, and that's the only thing I think Frank Mir has over him. He's going to have a tough time doing that. I don't think lightning's going to strike twice for.
But
Frank
humble.
Mir.
Lesnar is humble. As a fighter, you have to be humble. You have to realize your weaknesses. You have to get in the gym. You have to work on them. And that's the scary thing is you have Brock Lesnar improving himself day to day. And, I hope Mir's done the same because it's going to be a tough battle.
Do you think Mir is in any way physically intimidated by Brock Lesnar? Lesnar's a bigger guy, and Lesnar, as you said, mauled him. I mean, the start of that fight, I guess there was only $1:30. The whole fight was only 90 seconds. But for 90 seconds, he was beating on him pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think he's intimidated. As a fighter, I know when I'm ready and I'm in top shape and I've mentally smashed this guy 100 times.
How about if you've been smashed by this guy 100 times?
I disagree, though, that he's not intimidated. I got to tell you something. I saw in Frank Mir's face fear when Brock Lesnar came out and manhandled. He tossed him like a salad. And that has got to be sitting in the mind of Frank Mir night after night. Yeah, he pulled out the win. But he's got to be thinking, how do I beat this guy? How do I do another knee bar? How do I stay away from him punching me, getting on top of me, out-wrestling me? Because he will be out-wrestled again. And there is nothing he will do. He won't knock him out either.
I want to see that. We've only seen the Brock get hit in the face one time by Randy Couture, who's not known for his striking. Can he take a shot? Mir did pretty good in his last fight, showing some better striking. It was the same combination a few times, but maybe he can catch him. That's what's so cool about MMA. Every fight's...
Also Saturday, welterweight champion GSP, Canadian GSP, much loved in this country, has done so much for ultimate fighting in this country for mixed martial arts against Thiago Alves. GSP says, this will be my toughest test. Do you agree?
Definitely. I think it's going to come down to the fact if George can take down Thiago. If he can take him down, it's his fight. If not, it's up in the air.
I disagree. I think that George St. Pierre is so ahead of his, not ahead of his time, but he's so on top of his game. I think there comes a point when a fighter is so good, it doesn't really matter what the other guy's style is or what the other guy's strengths are. He's so good, he's going to dominate anyway. I predict GSP dominates.
I think GSP is going to win also. You know, he's a very focused athlete, always working on his skills. We're very well-rounded, tough, in shape, strong. You know what I mean? How can he's Canadian. You know,
Right.
he's a tough guy
and
automatically.
you live in this country, in Hamilton, Ontario. Mixed martial artist. What has GSP done for you? And when I say you, I mean all mixed martial artists in this country.
Well, George and I used to fight in TKO in the same organization. He broke into the UFC, one of the original guys to do well. So he's done wonders for Canadian fighters to get the recognition and get in there and have a shot to follow in his footsteps.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I have a lot of respect for George. He's a great ambassador for Canadian athletes. And I think he sends a message to all Canadians that despite the American dream and all the hoopla and TV and everything, that it's not really about that. It's about what you have in here, and that if he can do it, any Canadian fighter
A little
can do
contradictory to the Ultimate Fighter show. You know, I've tried out a few times for that show, and they're not looking for the fighters. They're looking for the characters.
You tried out for it?
Thank
Twice.
you very
Twice.
much.
Yes,
They're not looking for, you're absolutely right. They're not looking for the fighters. They're looking for the people who can sell, and it's about appearance versus reality. I
But that's the
absolutely
business,
agree with
you know.
you.
That's, you know, I can't argue with a Spike TV producer. I can't make Survivor a hit show, so he knows exactly what to do. So
well, you're right.
You know,
it makes for great ratings, but it doesn't make the best fighters. And you look at how many guys who have won the season finales and gone on to lose against, in my view, marginal fighters around the world.
Really fascinated by these comments. You were great, Jeff. Thank you very much. We're out of time because we had the long Lesnar interview. He's coming up for next question. But come back and do the show again.
Yeah, definitely. Man.
By the way, what did you think? Beneto's long pants or GSP's shorts? Which ones were tighter?
I don't know. That's pretty equal. Actually,
Good to see you, Dave.
That's why I didn't fight until they came out with regular shorts.
On that note, speaking of matchups, it's me and Milt Stiegel.